Okay, good evening once again. Welcome to Design with You. So my name is Eugene, your host for this evening. For those that do not know, Design with You is a weekly session where we reach out to senior designers from different spheres of design and invite them to come speak on our platform on a weekly basis, Sundays by 8 o'clock. So this week, we are privileged to have Tobi Amodu, a UX designer, UX design manager at Rosehealth, talk about understanding user journeys. So a quick one, Toby is a product designer or was a product designer, UX manager at Roxel with over 5 years experience in building products for fast-paced startups and corporate organizations. So from hackathons to winning ideas, copying websites and mobile apps, he basically enjoys designing and then implementing designs. So for the next couple of minutes, we'll be having him talk to us about understanding user journeys. So Toby, if you're if you're if you're ready, the floor is yours now. I'll stop sharing my screen so you could proceed.
Oh, cool. Um, can I share now?
Yes, please.
All right, cool. Is always my audio and video. Is that cool?
Both are good.
All right, great. Let me just share my screen first. Share window. Share that screen. Screen two. Um, Full screen. All right, great. Hi everyone. My name is Tobi Amodu. I'm a product designer as introduced. It's a pleasure being here. I'm currently UX manager at Rosehealth, a startup based in the US, and it's a privilege to be able to have this session with you this evening. Okay, so for as many that do not know me, I enjoy teaching, right? So I've had the privilege to also teach a couple students, and I think in the next few minutes or so, it would be fun to relearn some of the things that I think I know. Okay, so this is like a refresher course for me too. All right, so with all that said, I'm just going to have a short interaction with everyone on the channel just to make sure we are all on the same page. Okay, I can see about 34 people here, which is great and good enough. I want to gauge what everyone looks like, right? So I'm gonna create a poll and just get some sense of feedback on, what kind of what kind of designer that you are, right? So if you don't mind, I'll be dropping a poll right now on the chat. Kindly help me take that poll. I'll be looking at results as you finish. So it's completely anonymous. I don't know who is doing what, right? I don't know who's doing what. So the moment you are done filling that one, help me fill this one too. That is the first one. This is the second one, and last but not least, um, I have one more to go. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So the moment you're done with that, just help me type the done. Just put a DONE, and we're good to go. All right. Yeah. So without further ado, let's get into it. So help me take the straw poll. Once you're done, you can just come back to join me back in class. So before I go into definitions, I don't really do formal definitions and all. I think it's more important to understand concepts, and we can worry about cramming definitions after. So today we are going to explore the curious case of what I ordered and what I got. Okay, I know this is something that happens a lot online on Twitter, and people are here to crack jokes. But in the world of product design, it happens. Okay, do we have hands raised? So Tiwa, do I take questions while the session is going on?
Oh no,
Do I
no,
respond
we
to
have
hand raising?
the next few minutes. So after that, they can ask questions.
Oh, great. All right, great, 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 great. Awesome. So, uh, okay, great. Okay, the chats are coming in. All right, cool, cool, cool. So I'll share the results afterwards. Okay, so it is similar to what we usually have in products, and don't get confused yet, because I know some people will see user journey, some people will see customer journey, and those two terms are interchangeable in some ways that might be confusing for many people. But yeah, you propose something and your users use it differently. Something that happens quite often in designs, maybe not because we really messed up or because our designs are bad, but it's just what it is. Customers discover new things. Customer would always discover new things. Users would discover new ways of using that product you thought you perfectly designed. So this is that perfect example here. There's the road path you thought you've done, but one sharp guy has seen one route to pass that makes sense, and they will continue to use that route. So right now, I'd like you to picture any of your favorite mobile apps, picture any of your favorite websites that they've listed step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get it done, but you have found a sharper way to just post that picture. You found a faster way to send that message. That is what we're about to discuss. Okay. And a common example is WhatsApp delete feature. This is something that is still being debated till now. And I just used WhatsApp as an example. There are other products that have the same thing. The idea of deleting a message is so that the person you are sending it to doesn't see what you deleted. But for some reason, this guy also causes some problems. I don't know if you agree with me. Can I get some feedback on the chat if this is something anyone else shared? Maybe just say true or false. Like, this has happened to me a couple of times and it causes fight. Like, guy, what did you type? And I'm like, I just made a typo, But as human beings, some people feel like, Omo, did you say something bad about me and you now changed your mind? Did you say a secret? Well, guy, it's just a typo. It's not that deep, So that's sort of what would be walking through. I'm building a build up. And finally, I wanted to share with everyone why I want you to feel that that form is. I know most of us are self-taught, and that was why I really wanted to come here. I've seen awesome people come here to teach, but I think there's so much emphasis on the aesthetics. I think as self-taught designers that most of us really are, we just learned on YouTube, did Figma, and we think we are good to go. There are some things that you need to know outside of colors, Figma, um, well, let me this for you, auto layout. Those things are nice to know. But what makes you a product designer is your ability to execute flows. Keyword is flow. And another word there is journey. All right. So this is me giving you free expo that if you learned UI by yourself on YouTube, which that's fine. I mean, everyone get your good jobs. But the moment you are trying to level up, the moment you are trying to penetrate into that next level, the moment you have that imposter syndrome that, I don't know everything, what should I learn next? User journeys is one of those things you want to check out. Okay. I could give you an entire list of UX methods. I could give you empathy maps. I could give you assumptions mapping. We could go on and on and on. But I would say for you to really up your game, the moment you've perfected all those wireframes, you know how to do you're a pro at Figma, you've learned prototyping, you need to take that step back to understand what it really means to build a product. Okay. So when you go for interviews, this is one of those things you want to show that, okay, I can do end to end of a product. All right. So the problem statement of this session is, how do people actually use our products? That is how we found ourselves here. All right. So how do people use our products? That is the key question. The moment you have this question, maybe you're working in a team, you're working in a company, you have a small startup, and people are like, what's going on, Seth? We've done A, B, C, D, and this thing is not banging the way we thought it would bang. What exactly are we doing wrong? What did we miss? So to answer that question, you do what we call user journeys. This is where user journeys come in. All right. So like I said, I'm not a big fan of definitions, but for those of you that would like to know exactly what it is, it's just user journey, the journey of the user, the steps you will take to achieve a goal. If I want to build an app to loan or to save money, It should be questions like, what is the user journey to save money? What is the journey to withdraw money? You know, so those steps are essentially user journeys. That's all the grammar. So if you like definition real well, I would say keep this ones here. This is really important. If you're trying to bust someone's head at an interview, this is what you want to say. So it basically models the relationships between the user and the product over time and in various channels. Now, that definition, I want you to hold on to these two things: over time and across channels. When you are doing your UI, you are so fixated with, oh, when the user logs in. After the user logs in, they'll go to the home page. From the home page, they'll pick an item and all of that stuff. That's fine. But that's not the entire story, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So I'd like to throw it open to the house, and I'd ask someone here. Let me look for a name that I can put on the spot so that someone else won't hear me. Okay, good. I've seen familiar names here. Let me start with maybe Barnabas, for instance. Barnabas, can you unmute from where you are? Are you able to speak?
Please just let me off.
It's not a simple question. No fear, no fear. When was the first time you heard about a beg app? When and where? Let me guess.
I
Let me
think
guess. Let me guess. Was it on Twitter, Barnabas?
I think it was during BBN. Yeah, it was Twitter.
It was Twitter.
Yeah.
So that means your journey with a beg app sort of started on Twitter.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to draw your user journey, I'm not going to say user logs in. I'll tell you what that is. So just skipping forward, that thing you do is your user story. And again, I tried my best in this class to sort of demystify and break things that I know are similar. So we say, Tobi, you are saying user journey, you are saying user story, you are saying customer journey. What is all these things? So I'm going to try my best and separate them. It was really hard for me coming up. I know it can be, you won't find easy answers on Google either. But I promise you that for user journey, it starts from that very instance. The very instance you were like, oh, you discovered it, which in Barnabas's case, it was Twitter. Now, I'm curious, is there anybody else here who found out about a beg app? Not on Twitter. Like mine was Twitter, obviously. So I'd like everyone to I'm curious to see where everyone discovered a beg. And a beg here is simply ABEG. I'm curious to see where everyone, if you know about a beg, where did you discover a beg app? Okay, someone's WhatsApp status, someone says Twitter, someone says Naraland, someone says Big Brother. Yes, Big Brother. Yes, I remember Big Brother. Exactly. So that's what makes you a product designer. Okay? It is more than the UI. Like the screens are coming, trust me. Like the sign up is coming. The user downloads app is coming. That moment, they actually think. In fact, let me even make it easier. Not everyone accidentally bumps into a beg. It could be a case of Omo Alpha, I want to send money to my guy and I don't know his account number. In my own case, that is the beginning of my journey. The problem itself. Okay, so where we are headed this in the next few minutes, I'm not sure how much time I have left. I want you to know that this big grammar speaking is basically a visual tool to describe the holistic experience between a user and a product across channels and over time. So I do a lot of interviewing, and if I really want to know if this guy is a Figma merchant or just a website doer, like if I really want to know if you have a sound idea of product itself, these are the kind of questions I'll ask you. Because I didn't start interacting with your product from sign up. I started from somewhere. And as everyone has said now, someone said BBN. Because I remember they spent money heavily on BBM. For we Twitter OGs, we know there was a big way before BBN. Okay, so I'd like you guys to hold on to that line of thoughts. All right, so what makes user journey separate? There are other tools. I mean, user story will tell you, click on left, click on buy. After clicking on buy, click on move left. I mean, user stories will tell you those things, but user stories won't tell you how a user was frustrated. So where I am currently, it's people can send money via email. Now I want to ask you, which one can you remember more easily, your email or your account number? Like everyone, just give me feedback on the chat. Email or account number? Email. So someone said email, email, email. So it's easier for everyone to remember their email. But for some reason, we are sending money through account number. Abeg came and scattered the whole table and say, well, you know what? Hold my beer. Hold my beer. I have a beer here beside me. He says, hold my beer, and you don't have to remember your account number. You don't have to remember your email. Just collect the guy's handle and you send that money. That's the beginning of a user journey. That is what user journeys tell you. I mean, empathy map can try. You know, shout out to people that already know what empathy map is. If you're my student and you don't know empathy map, I have to knock you virtually. All right. So we'll talk a bit about those things. But user journey visualizes everything. Okay. It tells you the difficulties and you see how it looks like. Don't worry, you see how it looks like. And I always use every platform I have to say this: employ storytelling as much as you can in your work. I see everybody's case study and they can be robotic about how they are doing it. You know, apply storytelling. You know, say exactly how you were minding your business and you forgot your guy's phone number and you were like, oh, I want to send money to this guy. Then so your guy now said, how far now? Use a bag. You know, that was your own that's your own genesis of a product. So when using user journeys, we want to know how people use our products. I don't think, and anyone can prove me wrong. I'm sure we have other senior designers on this call. Like shout out to everyone. Like everyone's doing a great job. I think this is the best tool that tells everything about a product end to end. All right. And when I say channels again, I mean stores. You went to the market. You know, you are driving. You know, for some people, is when they are driving is when they'll realize Google Maps. Your user journey needs to capture that too. Now, it's the day you get lost, you realize that, oh, no, it's true. Let me even download Google Maps. I've been in situations where it is when I want to pay for something, I will download a particular payment app. And I'm sure I'm not alone. So your user journey captures these things. All right. For example, for those of you that have YouTube on multiple devices, my own YouTube starts from my phone. But if I'm in my room, I cast my phone to my smart monitor. User journey will tell you all those tiny details. So guys, my advice is the day you find yourself in an interview and they say, oh, tell us about your process. Don't jump. I want to hear these things. Like, this is what shows you can think. See, some payment apps are better off as USSD. I'm not capping. If my user is a 67-year-old woman, dude, build a USSD product for her. What are you doing with Metaverse or whatever smartphone feature? All she needs is *737 and build the UX around it. Does anybody here disagree with me? Like if my user persona is a 50-year-old market woman in Balogun Market, this is what she needs. You know, because the time you meet them, you'll be like, oh, all of them have 3310. Or wait, all of them have one smartphone, but aside that smartphone, because the battery will die, they have one reliable 3310. So why not build a USSD product instead? I mean, that solves the problem. So while teaching these things, I'm hoping everyone can see that, you know, and I'm not knocking on anyone. I studied computer science, but I think I did a lot of graphics before going into UX design. And trust me, there was no Figma. Mine was going on YouTube and everybody was using Sketch, you know, Sketch tutorials, and I'm like, how will I run Sketch? I was practicing on Photoshop, so I would watch Sketch videos and try and recreate it on Photoshop. My first job was done with Photoshop. All right, so thank God for Figma. Thank God for Figma. Thank God for product UI design for leveling the playing field. Okay, so I'm going to run through all of this real fast. Another thing again is for the marketing OGs that are here. I know there'll be a couple of marketing people here. We are not the only ones that do user journeys. Trust me, it's a product thing, so you're not the only one. Your salespeople would want to use it with you. All right, so everyone wants to have a touch of, okay, you're telling me it was from the radio this person started. Okay, what if we did a sign up button at BBN? So if BBN was your first place, we need to put a call to action that says download at blah 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 blah. You know, if the entry point was a flyer, don't put a logo on a flyer, for goodness sake. I mean, how do you put, you guys get what I'm trying to say? Do you know that download icon? I don't, you guys let me see if anyone can relate. Like, you can't, if the point of call was a website, maybe I'm shopping, I can click on download from App Store. But by the time you see people are coming in through flyers, you have to put the link there or a barcode. Thanks, our cat. Thank you very much. You know, that's what we're doing already. That's what makes you a product person. Your ability to think end to end. Okay? And so for as many that don't know that process, I'll just give a quick recap. Time is not on my side. The design process is typically you discovering, you do your research. So this is where we are now. For some people, your discovery is interviews, your discovery is watching videos, like you've said. Some of you is watching BBN, some of you is listening to radio. We'll discover in so many ways. But you research. So this is where I am now. You research. So it can also come in the testing phase where you've done the work, but you want to come and see what is going wrong. How can we improve it? Okay, so two ways. New products, you want to discover opportunities, or you want to validate. Those are the two places you can use your journey map. All right, so I put this one here for everyone to see. You can see how lots of people use journey mapping, so I'm not here to waste your time. I think Eugene gave me 2 topics. He said, oh, do you want to teach landing page? I said, guy, this is something everyone should know. So it's journey mapping. You want to check it out. No pressure to learn all these ones, but I mean, if you are that self-taught person and you're trying to say, okay, what am I missing? I know how to use colors now. My advanced prototyping is gangster, but for some way I feel inadequate for my UX. They're always like, oh, I don't know the UX well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know they do pass this one for all of this. You know, I don't do more than this. Okay, I don't do more than this. All right. So guys will say, oh, it looks like your customer journey. Well, we have lots of mapping UX. There are lots of maps in UX. There's assumptions mapping, there's empathy mapping, there's blah, blah mapping. But for the sake of this, we are focusing on user journey mapping. It looks something like this. All right, so you might see some materials that don't mention the word user journey. There are similarities in them. Empathy mapping, for those that don't know, is we basically empathizing with you. Your user persona only says, Tobi is a 50-year-old young man based in Nigeria that earns a salary of blah, blah. But user persona doesn't tell you if Tobi is sad or happy when he's using your app. User personas don't tell you if Tobi was scratching his head when he was looking for your transfer button. You guys get me? But empathy map does that. So in terms of visualizing all these maps work, I mean, you could learn them on your own if you wanted, but I'm focusing on user journey map for now. All right, so this is an empathy map. I'm just putting it there. I'll share the materials. If anyone is interested, you can have a look, right? So this helps me understand the emotions behind any user persona. It shows emotions, right? This is where we are headed, ladies and gentlemen, from the very first beginning. So let me even check them out. Let me see what the votes are looking like now. Let me see what the results are looking like. I'm checking the results. So for those of you that just joined, I shared a couple links. I would appreciate if those that were at the beginning of the call help me post it again. Help me post those 3 links again so that those that just joined can give them a try. Like I said, it's completely anonymous. I don't know who voted what, but I think it would be nice for everyone to know. So for as many of my parties that are on this call, let me drop those 3 links again on the chat so that other people can vote. I'm not seeing any results yet, though. Are we fighting? Let me check. Any results? I'm checking for results. Okay, there are no votes. So please help me while I'm speaking. Just help me vote so that the class can continue. All right, so we'll go into a quick practical, but before I go into practicals, I just wanted to show you that it's really not that deep. It's pretty straightforward and easy. It's something you do in English, but in UX and product work, you must be able to document everything. All those when the user you document those things, and the best way to document that thing is using your user journey map. All right, your user journey map. So we'll come back to this. We'll still elaborate on this, but you can see how I show emotions. So for someone who was in BBN, you're like, waiting with this self. Like if you were on BBN, you're like, waiting with this. But I mean, if you were actually looking for how to send money to someone that you don't know the account number, you'd be frustrated. This would be a frustration. All right, so results vary. And at the end of this class, does anyone know UI Adrian on Instagram? Like, does anyone follow that guy on Instagram? Pelumi, know you. Does anyone apart from Pelumi know UI Adrian on Instagram? All right, cool. So I would be giving out a copy of his materials. I'll be buying it for someone after this class. I'll ask a couple questions, and if you get them, I would get a copy for someone. Yeah, because I think it's an interesting book that everyone should check out. All right. So that said, these are the things we'll come back to. That you see that it's not that deep. So it takes only 1 hour on YouTube to understand this thing, and it would change your career. Like it would upgrade your skill set and confidence when looking for a job. Because it really sucks when I see people with crazy, mad UI, and I'm like, okay, what was your thought process of doing this? And like, well, I just went on Figma and I just did 1 or 2 things, bro. Like, this is what I asked you. That was a trick question. This was what I asked you, So please we'll be coming back to this, right? I have how many minutes more? The host, Tiwa, could you give me an idea of how many minutes I have left so I could just keep to the practicals?
We have like 30 more minutes.
I have what?
30 more minutes, please.
30 more minutes. Okay, no Allah. So this is definition again for those of you that like definitions. We've said it already: discovery and exploration. You want to discover new opportunities. You are seeing people. You are seeing more downloads on App Store, and like, what exactly is special about App Store? It is by using your user journal you realize that, oh, we're making more noise about App Store, and that's why people are using more App Store. So that is the purpose of user journeys. However, it is not a couple of things that look similar. It is not a user story. It is not a user flow. They look similar, like I've said, but it is not the same thing. I mean, you can get away with I usually look away when I see designers mix them up. It's fine. But if you wanted to go into nuances and be professional, this is what your user flow is. So everyone take a second and let this sink in. Right? Let it sink in and I'll move on. So I'm going to pause here and I'd like to see if you get the difference. If you get the difference, I can move on. So just give me some feedback on the chats. On the user journey, see where the problem really starts. That is where we start capturing user journey. However, for user flow, it's the moments we are trying to solve problems. So user flow focuses on implementation. User journey covers the whole discovery and entirety of the product. Do you guys think that is clear? Permission to move on? I mean, we can debate after. Like, I still have my own debate still now. But does this make some sense in some way? All right, cool. Thank you for that feedback. It is not a product roadmap. It's very similar to a product roadmap. Like, PMs even do a lot of customer journeys. Like your PM would be on it, your sales guy will be on it, your marketer will be on it, your CEO self want to chook head, but it is not a product roadmap. It is not a product roadmap. Why do we want to do user journeys? We want to do user journeys because it's a single source of truth. So the moment you do it once or twice, it is clear. Any JJC that joins your team the next few weeks will not come and ask you any question because your user journey has captured everything. What are you asking again? Like, it does everything. It's a single source of truth. Every argument you've had is going to happen here. Oh, it's not like this. Oh, it's like this. Oh, everything will be documented here. It also enables conversations, right? It helps us speak. So the people that don't speak on your team, you get to get their own feedback. It is that day you hear the POV of your salesperson. I mean, the guy that has been spreading flyer for you up and down will come and tell you that, come on, all these flyers that people normally give us, we usually see them on the floor. Then you'll be like, maybe we are wasting too much money on flyers. Let's invest more on radio instead. So that's the entirety of a product. It's more than UI design. And if you do a great job, ladies and gentlemen, if you do a fantastic job, you would have found out pain points, you would have found out fragmentations, and ultimately you can create a better experience for your user. All right, you'd have found out where people are thinking differently, because on the same team, I've seen, I don't know if Isaac is on this call. Isaac is not on this call. I mean, I work with my team. We've had a case where it's the same product, but we are describing the same product in a different way. It's like an elephant, where some people are seeing a wall, some people are feeling a snake, some people are feeling, just because they are touching different POVs. So with user journeys, we are able to harmonize all those different POVs as one, if you do a great job, right? I have some examples here just so that we're not just speaking theories alone. I found this online, it's not mine. I found Spotify's music sharing experience. You can see how the very first thing is how they open Spotify on their phone, you listen, you discover, you share, you discuss, you receive, you respond. And mind you, this is only for some particular actors. For this actor, like she's only interested in sharing. I have friends that use Spotify strictly for work music. Okay, they only listen to Spotify if someone shares a link on the WhatsApp channel. They click on that link and they listen. After work, that is the end of their own Spotify journey. My own is, what's my own? My own journey is, if I'm leaving the house, I put on Thames playlist. From the moment I step out till when I get to where I'm going, I'm bumping to Thames. That's my own user journey. So for each actor and each scenario, you have different scenarios. So, and you can see how I'm expressing the emotions. All right. So good news for everyone. This thing is not that deep. It's literally something you learn overnight. Okay. So I would say move away for a moment from your UI, which is great. Everyone knows Figma in 2022, and perfect your knowledge of core products. And for those of you that are about to spend thousands and millions of naira taking courses, this is what you are going to learn. It's not that deep. All right. So also, another part I would not play down is the human aspect. A huge part of product design is our ability to have conversations, your communication skills, your ability to negotiate, your ability to have compromises. So your ability to speak with your marketer like, oh boy, this is not what I'm thinking. Oh, I understand your POV, but can we do it this way instead? That is what you are being paid for. You are not paid to be a yes man, Oga-driven design, ODD. My Oga talks say make I use blue. It's Oga that said we should use purple. I mean, if you do this kind of work, Oga will be like, okay, so our users are kids and kids like yellow. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, all my students should keep quiet. Those that are already familiar, because I've given this example a couple of times. And I had an interview. I was building a product for kids, a chat platform for kids. So I asked them what their favorite chat platform is. When I say kids, I mean 9-year-olds to 15-year-olds. All right. So Do you guys want to try what their favorite chat platform is? Their favorite product for chatting? 9-year-olds to 15-year-olds. David, don't talk. Tawaka, don't talk. Everyone else, like, do you want to try what that product? Make guesses. Just guess whatever that product is. Abati, you have coconut air. Abati, this guy. Does everyone want to try? No, don't talk. So Ted thinks WhatsApp. Grace thinks Snapchat. Okay, everybody. Okay, Martha thinks WhatsApp. Okay, Akintude thinks TikTok. Ife thinks WhatsApp. Someone thinks Snapchat, TikTok. Well, let me give you the news. I was interviewing this small girl, and I know how to handle kids very well. I think I'm very great with kids. So she opened up to me and she was like, I use Snapchat because I chat with my best friend and my mommy doesn't get to know what we were talking about. I said, eh? Like in my head, I thought Snapchat was for the filter. I thought it was, for the filters and all those paparazzi things. But this girl communicates with her bestie because her momsy will check her chats at the end of the day when she goes to bed. So they figured out a way. That is discovery. Like, that is discovery. I'm not sure Snapchat started out as a platform for sending nudes or explicit R-rated stuff. And I'm not sure Snapchat started for those reasons. But, well, it turns out that that's what Snapchat is now. You get, so by discovering, you see new opportunities and you keep learning and learning. I'm going to wrap this up real quickly. So we don't just create customer journeys overnight. There's a process for it. How do we move from point A to Z? You need to ask yourself, do I want to describe what we have now or what we are doing in the future? That is one. The second thing is, do you want to make assumptions or do you want to make research? My advice is combine both of them. Make assumptions for some parts and do proper research for some. So I'll leave you to decide this one. Current state is you are trying to discover and understand things. Future state is you want to build a new future and you want to see how things might look at. Okay, so those are the two reasons we can do customer journeys, user journeys. Once you've settled that, you define that, okay, I really want to focus on the payment aspect of this product. I'm not concerned about the onboarding. Let me focus on the mobile version of this product. I'm not concerned about the web. Define the scope. Define what the scope is. Next thing is, who is your user? Okay, I'm hoping by now everyone can do user personas. I know there was a previous session. Tiwa, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you've had the speaker talk about user personas in this particular session. I think we've had someone teach user personas. If you don't know how to do user personas, please learn them. They are essentials to anyone doing UX, and they'll make sense for you, really. So understand who your users are and why they are doing it. I don't mean to throw stones on Abeg, but Abeg is interesting to me because I kind of knew Abeg would flop right from the outset. Like, it's a fancy app in theory. Everybody's crazy about it. But how many times are we sending money in Nigeria? We're all begging for money. Like, everybody's asking for giveaway. Nobody wants to give away. So by understanding your user demography well enough and why they are using your product, you might be able to channel it in a different way. Wow, time really flies. Jeez. Okay, so define what the end goal is and say that, user wants to send money. So maybe we'll use Abeg as a case study in the practical. User wants to send money. User wants to get giveaway from Don Jazzy. I won't lie to you. I think I joined Abeg because I wanted to see how it was to get giveaway. That was my reason for joining Abeg. So that means I might build different user journeys if I wanted to describe Abeg as a product. All right, so define your end goals and scenarios, because if you don't, you will be running up and down. You will be doing too many things. So define your scope, define your end goals. Your touch points are where your products are used. Like I said, it is not just your app alone. Your product is more than your app. Your product are the point of entries. For those of you doing, I think, is Michael on this call? Pelumi on this call? Michael Pelumi. If he is, his product number, you use like they have this payment kits. I don't know what they call them. Like this thing you tap to pay. They have that thing. I don't know what they are called. Can anyone help me with the? Is it payment points? What's the word of those devices? What's the name for those devices? Can someone help me? Nope. Nobody knows the name. POS, yeah, kind of. Yes, NFC, whatever. Yeah, exactly. So understand all the pain points and note them down. So this is what I mean. This is the pain point for someone about to book a ticket. Okay, I'm interacting with my laptop. I buy ticket on my phone. I call the theater. How far do you guys? Hope you guys have received my ticket. I don't want to come and waste my time, because you might discover that this number we are having is MTN has blocked the line already. So it means that people have been calling our line and nobody has been responding to it. There are many companies like that their numbers are still 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these landlines, and they have it on their company website. It is a user journey. Be like, oh, it is true. Let us update this to WhatsApp line because this is 2022 and everybody's on WhatsApp. Do you guys get me? Am I sort of clear? Or am I speaking Spanish? All right, cool. So if that is clear, then you start sketching, which is what we'll do now. We'll sketch quickly, then you iterate, you do testing, you try. And in summary, for those of you that I bored too much, this is everything you want to know. What are the motivations? Where are the channels? Where are the actions? What are the pain points? These are the things you want to do, right? And at the end of the day, you want to remember that we are creating this thing not to solve poverty or to cure cancer. We are only creating it to have a shared vision, right? That is all we are doing. That is what we are doing. We want the team to have same understanding of what we are doing, right? That's why we do user journey maps. It looks like this. It looks like this. This is what it looks like. It can look like anything, I promise you. It can look like anything, right? So, but this is like a wireframe of what it looks like. I hope it helps somebody. And I put some resources together. And everybody that knows me, I'm not a fan of software ed. I'm a very lazy person, and the good thing about lazy people is we know how to get shortcuts. So I've done some shortcuts and templates for you guys, and we can just take a look over. We can just have a practical session now. Tiwa, how many minutes do I have left before I quickly run through a practical session of this? Mic check, is Tiwa there? Or is there anyone else checking the time? Nobody's checking the time. All right, cool. So I will assume I have enough time. So what do you do for when you're looking for things is there's no reward for doing things yourself. People have created templates. The moment you understand something, it's okay to just work on a template and just do. So what I typically do is there are two badass tools, mirror to the world. So just do mirror user journey templates. This is me since God knows when. Click on see me, I've clicked on it already. So just pick this, click on it to show you something nice. If it works for you, use it or edit it. This is one. Another awesome tool I'd like to share with everyone is called Miller Notes. Okay, Miller Notes is very awesome. Miller Notes is very awesome. You can check out Miller Notes. Like I said, I'll do Miller Notes, user journey templates, yada. Okay, and use Miller Notes to be like, oh, it seems there's a guy in Nigeria who enters Miller Notes by Googling it every time he's in class. That is my own user journey. Okay, I only use Miller Notes when I'm trying to explain in class. All right, so you use these templates, just sign in or get a free account. And finally, FigJam for everybody. So go on Figma, go on figma.com. Go on figma.com, go to see all, and type user journey. So we have something here, and I think people have created different things. So this is by some guy, but let's just use Figma's template, I beg. So click on Figma's templates. Yeah, and I'm going to check the poll again and see what the results are while we're waiting. But while I'm doing that, can anyone try and give me I won't say a recap, but what they understand by what I've said so far. Please raise your hand, don't unmute. I'll pick someone up. Just raise your hands and I'll find someone to pick. Who thinks they can do a decent job of recapping what I've said in the last few minutes? And don't mind me if I'm looking this way. It's because my monitor is yeah. Let me see if I can share my screen. How do I do that? I mean, so long you guys can hear me, I think that's fine. Yeah, thanks, David. Thanks. David, I hope you are good. Longest time. So does anyone want to try? I'm checking the hand raising if anyone has their hands raised. Does anyone want to give us a try? Okay, I have a Sam. I think it's Sam GFX wants to try. So Mr. Sam, how far? You can unmute your mic and give it a try.
Okay, so so from the first part and what I've learned so far, where I was able to get more insight was the differentiation between user journey and user story. User story actually starts from the actions involved in the app, starting from pressing different keys and the rest. But user journey looks at it from a more wider and wider, more wider perspective. Thinks about it from like areas where the users get to hear about the apps, areas where the users try to look for
Sam,
something.
thanks. Sam, thanks. Sam, thanks.
Yeah.
Sam, thanks. Great job. Sam, do you think you like this book that I'm sharing on my screen?
Sure, looks great. I like it.
So share your email and I'll give you a copy. Thanks for. I think we should always brave people. So great job, and yeah, that's basically it. So Sam, just drop your email on the chat and we're good. All right. So let's have a practical session and yeah. So should we? Wait, let me check. Let me check what the straw says. I'm refreshing this poll. I'm refreshing the poll. I still don't know. Is it just me or I'm not getting any results? So what's going on? Interesting. Okay, so maybe I would vote first. Let me vote. I always carry out UX research. I depend most times. I don't always do my results. Depends on who's paying me. Okay. So I think this stuff is glitchy because it's not showing results. Wow, that's sad. Goodness me. Jeez. Can anyone see the results on their own end? Man, straw poll is the worst. Goodness me. Straw poll is the worst. The entire worst. Wow. Man. Is there any I mean, if someone can help me run a poll. Exactly. Thanks, Pelumi. Thanks. Like, that sucks. Honestly. Sam, please, I beg, I'm not here to, with all due respect, please, I'm not here to enable pirates. Let's support people's also. No, there are some free resources. This one is not free, so please keep it to yourself. Jim or I, shoot. I think we're at the part. You can ask questions now. Jim, we can hear you.
It's Eugene talking.
Oh, sorry. Eugene, I shoot. Go ahead.
So if it's on the poll, I can press a poll here with Google Meet.
I swear, I don't mind, man. I don't mind. I beg.
Okay,
If you can be run it, I don't mind. Yeah. Thanks. And I think that's about it. So Eugene, can you mute your mic, please? And can everyone else mute? So I beg. So like we said, I'm not affiliated with Abeg in any way. So I'm not. This is not me endorsing or attempting to in any way. So let's run a session. Once my time is up, let me know. I'll stop. Should we use Milan notes? Which one are you guys feeling? What template are you guys feeling more? Let's see. So let me do board. So once I do this, what template are you guys feeling more? So this is UJ. I'm feeling UJ, clicking on it. I'm going to looking for more template, user journey map, top pick. See, it's even a top pick. That's what everyone is picking. Nice. I'll use this template. So you guys can decide what's the one you are feeling more. Do you like this one, or let's see, let's do one on Figma. Or do you like Figma's version more? Like I said, don't worry about the tool. It's less about the tool. It's about the knowledge. If you give me paper and biro, I'll recreate the same thing without any sweat. Okay, you should be able to create this on PowerPoint too. Okay, I always tell everybody, if Figma should pack up, your career shouldn't end. You should have the knowledge to create design on another platform. All right. So yeah. So that said, can you guys, okay, FigJam. Everyone says FigJam. So FigJam, this is the user journey of, let me look for someone's end, of Lami. Lami says FigJam. So this is user journey of Lami begging for 2K on a beg. This is the user journey of Lami begging on Lami. This is Banto. This is begging on a beg for 2K. Yeah. So this is user journey of a begging for 2K. All right. So what problem was she trying to solve? Lami, a guy or a girl? Lami, guy or girl? So I don't misgender you. People enter trouble for misgendering these days. A girl. Okay, great. So Lami was broke. Lami was broke. Sakpa broke. Needs urgent 2K, right? Urgent 2K. User trying to solve what is the problem that was solved. So that is one. User action is cries about it. She cries about it. One. She cries about it. So ask. She cries about it. She goes on Twitter. She makes a few posts. She makes a few posts like, if somebody can just dash me 2K now. Where's okay? Mark has a question. Mark, my guy, how far? Longest time. Mark, my check.
I just joined. Yes. I can
Wow,
hear you, sir.
congratulations for just joining. You've missed a lot. But I'm sure this is recorded. Yeah. All right, cool. But I mean, I'm cracking jokes and all, but is everyone getting the flow? Is everyone kind of getting the flow, the general idea? Okay, yeah. So Eugene, thanks. I've seen that poll. Eugene, thanks, man. Thanks. So Eugene has dropped the poll, and I think this sucks too because there should be a link. Like, man, products are messed up. There are so many products that are messed up. I bet you there will be many people on this call that don't know how to take that poll because Google Meet for web is crappy. Because I saw Eugene create that poll, right? But there is no trigger to click on it. I have to click on one shapes and circle and triangle that is called activities. I have to click on polls. Like, yo. Eugene, thanks, man. So everyone do that. And another upgrade that would have happened was there should have been a share thing here where I can share a link and I can copy that link and paste that link on the chat. Grace is asking, where is the poll? These are genuine, these are the problems we are talking about. So my time is up. I really want to continue, but time is not on our side, and I'll just finish this up. So she goes on Twitter, she posts, who can, I don't know how, like, you know the way those tweets are now, all these coded tweets, put on your status. If I see 2K for floor now, if I see 2K for floor now, you know, for floor now, then maybe on her timeline, or she sees it on Jazzy, maybe she just sees it on her sees a beg on TL. So this is Lami's flow. All right. So how do they feel about this moment? She was sad at first. I need something for sad. So how do you? I haven't used FigJam a lot. So let me look for sad face. Sad face. I'm looking for sad face. Exactly. I need sad face. Where is sad face? Sad face not there. So I'm putting sad face. She was sad in this stage. Okay. She was sad in this stage. Then she now found out there was an Abeg app. So she was sad. This is here. We have this here. Then we draw a line. Eugene, please stop me because of time. I can go on and on. So please stop me if once my time is up. I beg.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So so she was sad here. From sad, more ginger just this small. Then then she decided to try it and be like, this is interesting. Let me drop my abeg. Let me download this abeg they are talking about. Okay. Then she goes back and sees that someone won 3K from Don Jazzy. Then I need curious. I can't get, so this is why I will not use FigJam. Let me see if there's an emoji for curious. Thinking. Let me say thinking. Thinking. Okay. So I drop this and say So no. Shocked, happy. I can't remember the action that I put here. So I said looking was broke, heard about abeg on Twitter, got curious by seeing Don Jazzy, saw somebody winning, installed the app. Let's say my onboarding was frustrating. Let me not lie. Let me not give up abeg. The onboarding really sucked. I'll be very honest. Like I had different issues. Then later they solved their OTP. They had this issue with sending text, which was really crappy, but I think they fixed it afterwards. So I was sad. Then I did then Don Jazzy just wired 200K. Then she became happy, So I'm just going to copy this, right? So yeah, we could go on and on. All right then. So ladies and gentlemen, that is really it. Let me know if you'd like me to share the materials from this, and most of the things are not mine. So I'll try and give credits at the end. I took the 3D animations, 3D stuff from Figma community and all of that stuff. So it might take a while for me to share. But yeah, the template is everywhere. What I said now is how I usually do. So forget seniors and juniors. The difference between both of us is I know where to find it in 5 minutes, while you might take 15 minutes to find it. Either way, it's piece of cake, and the only difference is the knowledge gap. So nobody should scare you. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure hanging out with you. I would stop here and not take any more of your time. And yeah, Eugene, over to you. And Sam, please share your I think you shared your email already, so I'm looking for it. Sam, if you don't mind, let me drop it again, I beg. Okay, I've seen it. Yeah, Sam. Yeah.
So
all right, cool.
Taking questions, a couple.
Yeah, sure. I didn't want to waste more time, that's why. So yeah.
Okay, so if you have questions, you can drop on the chat box or raise your hand and you can speak.
I
Okay,
beg. You should not injure me. I'm also learning. No, I beg.
Abimbola goes first, then Lekan.
All right, cool. Lami, hi, are we still friends? Lami, sorry for roasting you. Lami, are we friends? Mic check, Lami. Okay, Lami.
Yeah,
Lami
we're
has
still
joined.
friends. Don't worry.
All right, cool. Yeah, awesome. All right, cool. So, Eugene, who's going first?
Abimbola is going first. Please unmute your mic and speak.
Hi, Tobi. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay. So, regarding like user journey, you mentioned like it's like a collaborative effort and stuff like that. Like you use that big for like an example, the way people found out about it on BBN, all those marketing efforts. Because I know as a designer, you wouldn't know like those channels that they might be using. So how do you like make the best of it?
Okay. So I would claim I don't know all. I can only use anecdotal experiences to explain. That is the way it worked for me. So in my own case, I was lucky to from a startup. Please, can everyone mute, please? I beg. Sorry, everyone mute your mic. There's someone with their mic on. Please. I'm going to mute that person. Eugene, if you can help me, please. Can you mute that person? Okay. No, Allah. Please mute your mic, bro.
It's on.
Okay. All right, cool. So in my own experience, soft skills comes to play here, bro. You don't get textbook for your career. For me, I was at a startup. At startups, everybody they learn work back then. Everybody usually starts their career. I was always lucky to be the one that can express myself. But we're all techies, Summit Tech. We're all techies. We hardly had skill set outside of being programmers, PMs. So we needed to rely on external stakeholders. All right. One advice I'll give you is you need to know how to talk. This is not where you should be shy. Because if the product cast is you, they will come and meet. That's career one. Career two was at GT Bank, and GT Bank has the most baddest team in terms of like I worked. So I was with the headquarters. I was at HQ and communications team. So on the same floor, I was seeing the badass graphics guys. I was seeing the animation guys. I was seeing the communications experts. Everything was just dope. So I didn't need to go to another office to brainstorm with them. I literally had to stand up and say, "Oh, the alpha, how long they take do this thing now? Does it make sense to you?" I would be honest that they have kind of tech, at least back then, they were very tech averse. Nobody wants to use Figma with you back then. So it was always me carrying my paper and barrel and say, "Alpha, does this make sense?" So, but I'll promise you that for as many early stage startups, you want to do these things. Startups need you. So don't be shy. Like, propose these things, okay? Because you need it for your own CV, your own portfolio, your own storytelling to tell people that come. On this product I worked on, I remember how frustrated I was by my Oga. But by the time I did it, it made so much sense for him because it saved us approximately 10 hours of onboarding time. Me, is that vibes clear? Because I know you relate to your marketing guy very well. So there is no easiness. So if you are the shy part, this is not the moment to be shy. You need to, if you don't know how to talk, if you don't get talk from out, I cannot help you with that. Work on your soft skills, work on communicating well, because this is where you collaborate and nobody talks about that. And I'm hoping, Eugene, you can let's leave the things people are making noise about and talk about the quiet things in UX. And I don't know if I can do that, but shout out to all the OGs that have been here before. I think where we are now is completely different from where we are coming from. So great job to all of you guys, and I'm happy for everyone coming up. So yeah, keep it up. But if I didn't answer that question, we'll talk in camera. I beg. Next person. Yeah.
Okay, we have Lekan Tabiri. Please unmute your mic.
Yeah, good evening, guys.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So this question is not necessarily relating to user journey, but I feel it's the next step after user journey. So I don't know if I'm permitted to ask.
Sure. Shoot. If I know it, I'll answer you. If I don't, I'll tell you I don't know it. Shoot.
No, wala now. So what's the difference between a style guide and a design system?
Okay, first off, it is not the next step after user journey. I wish I can share my screen again. But everyone, please know the UX processes. Know that everything starts from empathy, understanding, then analysis, then defining. You know that user journey is just research and empathy and defining. Design style guide is at prototyping and high fidelity. So Lekon, we are still on stage 2. Style guides and design system is on stage 5. So I don't distract and I think someone has spoken about it. Eugene, correct me if I'm wrong. So I can answer that question, but this is not the class. So style guides are guides to declare your colors and all of those things. Your follow your fonts. Then design system is style guides and a couple other things on drugs. And I mean it, on cocaine. Style guide is where your documentation would be. Style guide is where design system is where your documentation will be. Design system is where your components will be. Design system is where your language will be. If you go to Google, if you go to Apple, Siri, that Siri is the language anything will continue using. That is part of their design system. Developers use it, so I don't want to distract. Sorry, Lekon, we can link up on, or if there's a way, Eugene, do you think it would be helpful for us to have like an hashtag where people ask their questions and I can, after this call, go and answer as much as I can? Would that be helpful?
Okay, we can do that. We can actually do that. So after the session, I'll just drop the photo of this entire what's it called now, screen, and then we can reply your messages on that.
Cool. No wala. No.
Next person is Grace. She can't talk, but she sent a message. She's asking between difference between a user persona and user journey. Which one comes first?
Grace, your user personas come first. You can't do anything if you don't understand who you're building for. Everything builds on user personas. I dare say immediately after your user interview, your personas are next. You've gathered all your data, you've done questionnaires, you've done surveys, you've done interview. You need to define what you've done. You had 1,000 questionnaires. You can't tell me about 1,000 people. You need to summarize those 1,000 people into 3 distinct abstract people called personas. So personas come first, and everything else builds on personas. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Grace. This is user UX design. User, you can't design what you don't know. It is for a user. So know your user. That user is your user persona. So personas come first. All right, cool, Grace. Sorry to disturb you. Sorry to have confused you along the way. Yeah.
Okay, next person is Felix. He's asking, do you use user journey for new products? If yes, at which stage do you apply it?
Felix did not join on time. So the purpose of user journey is to discover and explore. Keyword discover. So it's suitable. It's more suitable if you have something existing and you are trying to describe it. That way you can do actual research and less hypothesis. But it is also fine if you want to create a new product. But it is not the most important tool for like product. So user journey map, definitely the tool to use if you are trying to describe the entire process. But it's easier when you already have a product on ground. Those are that's the second approach will be research approach. But with a new product entirely, you'll be making guesses, you'll be making hypotheses. So there was that, it was on a slide, one of those slides where you can either use the hypothesis approach or the research-based approach of things. So yeah, user journey. User journey mapping, that's the key word, user journey mapping. The one I think people want to really talk about is user stories. You definitely want to do your user stories early, and user journey is also early. Yeah.
Okay, Harrison would have to go next. Then Mother Harrison.
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you. Good evening, Toby. Please, what is the difference between a user journey and a UX storyboard?
UX storyboard. A UX storyboard is a tool. So let me just share my screen again. So that thing we were doing, that thing we were doing with Abeg, that back and forth we were doing, that's a storyboard. A storyboard is your comic book, your style of comic. If you watch comics, so a storyboard is a tool that we use on. Can everyone? Let me know if you see my screen, please. I'm hoping I'm sharing my screen right now. Can you guys give me feedback, please? Can you see my screen? All right, cool. So this is a playful storyboard. Like this is a playful story. So a storyboard is a tool that is used in executing custom user journeys. For instance, this is also an empathy map in a way. So without you guys knowing, we've made use of user personas. If you look at the other examples we had, the one from a mirror, they literally add. Let me just clear this out of the way. Let me share my entire screen. Share your entire screen 2. Okay. So you'd see the way Milanote did theirs. See, Milanote talked about their personas. Who asked that question? I can't remember who asked that question. But please, you can see how your persona is here. See how your persona is here. Okay, but FigJam didn't do it. Let's look at Mirror. Let's look at how Mirror did theirs. Mirror, this is literally so all of this is a storyboard kind of format. Okay, that was Harrison. So Harrison, a storyboard is a standout tool on its own, but it is a tool we use in executing user journeys. You can do a storyboard alone, and that's fine. But a storyboard doesn't necessarily have to tell you all these nuances. It doesn't tell you it's just like a storybook. You're reading a comic. Storyboard. You tell a story, storyboard. If you guys do animations, this is what they use to create comics exactly. You just do something like this, a story. Oh, so if I wanted to create a story out of Lami now, we can create a storyboard. Yeah, we can do something like this out of story. So like I said, these are things we do unknowingly, but it's nice to document them. That's what makes UX very interesting. So Harrison, I hope I've answered your question. Yeah.
Okay, we can
Eugene,
take
are we
just
good?
questions. Just 2 more questions.
Okay.
One of them is from Audu Emmanuel.
All right, cool.
Is that the last person? Audu Emmanuel.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, sure. How do I also?
Okay, so I have 2 questions. Probably the other one will probably link up later. So let me start with that. There are a lot of tools for the UX process or in UX generally. So like, how do you decide which to use? That's one. So probably maybe we can take that after you have a link up here or something. Then
Should
for the other
I give you
ones,
the official story? Which one do you want?
the truth.
All right, cool.
Okay, yeah. So for the second question is, so you already mentioned that user journey map is best used when you're creating like a new, modifying an existing product rather. So like, when you're actually creating a new product, what approach, like how do you make use of user journey? So I'm going to use this as an example. So I came across something that one of the big boys in the industry did, that I kind of followed. So he had this discovery, consideration, adoption, conversion, and advocacy for a new product.
Nice.
So
Nice.
would those be speculations? Like, are you trying to say, okay, this is what we're going to build into our application for our potential customers? Because it's clear.
Okay. I think I would clarify that now. When I say best, I meant easier. I think that's the adjective I should have used. It's easier when you have an already existing product and you want to create the user journey out of it, because that way there's actual data to feed on. You are not making guesses. Okay, but for a new product, you also want to create a user journey for it. It's just not as easy. For the new product, you are making hypotheses, you are making guesses. You are going to say, oh, if users should do that. I mean, you might have known the one before the app, right? But those data that are there they are not readily available for you. Okay, but for me, it's easier when I am trying to audit an existing app and I create the user journey for it, and I'm like, okay, this is what they have. I want to improve it, because the key word is we want to explain a process. We want to explain what is going on. We want to visualize an established process. Okay, so if you already had that process in the beginning, for me personally, I feel, guys, please just Google UX process. They might sound like a lot of grammar, but most of them you already do mentally without knowing. So I would always do my stakeholders research. That's the first thing. Waiting Oga wants. Then I do my user research, because my stakeholder will have told me who my users are. Then I do product research itself, market analysis. From there, I've gotten all my data. I start creating my user personas, empathy map. But I'll be very honest and say it varies from project to project. This is the truth here. If you give me small money and you are more product centric, I will not do some of these things. All right. This is me being plain honest. However, if it is a very interesting product that I know is key for me and like I need to document, I'm working with a team, I definitely do user journey. Because the moment everybody agrees that, okay, Toby, this is correct, I share it and say, okay, oh, you guys said this is correct. Nobody should come and disturb me again later. But if it's a solo project, I'll be very honest that I don't always do it. I kind of jump to user stories. I just do user stories instead. Like I focus on the app, I do the UX part, but being a product designer, that is not good. That is not good. But I mean, you can't pay me small change. Like the amount of effort I would do should tally with how much you are paying me. And this is me being honest. I'm not giving you advice in any way. I hope that helps. I'll do. Did I answer all your questions?
Yeah, it's a very good extent. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm like, my Twitter is banned, so I'm not always doing design stuff. Other days I tweet about things and Nigerian politics, so I'm not your design lead. Just if you feel like relating and stuff, I'm on Twitter. Yeah, so I'll do. Feel free to follow up and yeah.
I followed you already.
All right, cool. Eugene, are we good?
I think we're good. That's all the things we have now.
All right, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the poll. Can you give us the results of the polls, please? And this app really sucks. We can't even see it. What the hell?
Let me see if I can share my screen so you could. I don't know how that would work.
See, that comment you made is already bad enough. So, as a comment in their react, not knowing how it works is a frustration that no production.
Can you see? No, I can't hear.
Eugene, if you can hear me, Eugene, please mute your audio is really bad, but you can always take screenshots and share on Twitter. Yeah, I think we're good. Everyone's dropping off now. Eugene, do you want to round this off? Mic check.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. So,
but if you
yeah,
can drop screenshots for us, if you can drop screenshots for us on the Twitter thread so we can see, that would be nice.
Okay. So that's all we can take for the night. I dropped the handles for our speaker. He's both on LinkedIn and then Twitter. You could reach out to him if you have questions or anything else. Then our socials as well, our LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. So this session is being recorded now, and in the next couple of days, we'll have it available on YouTube for us to watch and make reference to. So I'll also ask him for materials so you could get access to it as well. We have a newsletter that comes out every 2 weeks. So we have this material also there. So like I said earlier, this is a weekly session. So next week as well, we have another speaker to come and talk to us. So Uncle Tobi, we really appreciate your time. I must say it's been really enlightening. So thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks Eugene for doing a great job. Like I was really bust my head when I went on YouTube and saw the people that have been here before. Keep it up. I think it would be thankful for it in future. Great job, man. Well done.
Thanks a lot, Chief. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.